All right, so we're about a quarter of the way to Scottsdale, Arizona from Los Angeles, out in the desert by Palm Springs. If anyone's familiar, it's pretty here. It's just hot. I don't know how well I do in the heat, but I'm gonna go here. I got a hotel booked. Got the doggies chilling. Minnie's back here. I don't know if you can see her. She's perched, but Sue's back there. My Rottweiler. And let me see. I want to talk about I got time to kill, so I want to talk about why your dog might be having behavior issues. And I mean, if every which way I haven't spoken about this, if you go on my YouTube channel, you can go back almost 10 years. My oldest video is like 2016. And I had a YouTube channel before that. I got to find those videos. But 2016 on this channel, and it's just saying the same thing one way or another. Hopefully I'm a little bit even better at explaining it, teaching dogs, understanding it, and so on. But I mean, I was posting videos on my Facebook page, just recycling some of my first videos. I'm like, other than having gray in my beard now, it's really the same thing said. It's the same type videos, driving in a car, talking like this. So why do dogs have behavior issues? It doesn't just come out of the blue, right? It's usually the recipe is, and I'll make it general for now, it's a dog that does not have clear, consistent boundaries, both instinctively and conditioned as a calmer way to navigate life. And what does that mean? It's dogs that are too hypervigilant. It's dogs that are following their owners everywhere. It's dogs that are anticipating and reacting to everything, getting overstimulated, and it's being misinterpreted as, oh, my dog's just so excited and enthusiastic. And that's a mode you can have them do when they're playing or they're doing some kind of directed activity that requires an excited, but even then, a more focused. If you're just going out to play with your dog and they're jumping and romping and biting the air and barking and prancing and you don't know what to do, that's not good. Play fetch, play tug, hike with them, run with them, swim with them, have them play with another dog, and they figure out where they just do their kind of reciprocal back and forth. And the dogs that are chaotic, they get tended to, or they just don't get to be part of the pack. So you're instinctively and conditioning wise teaching a dog that some of them have more potential. Some are just dogs that have hypervigilant wiring by breed, and the owner's not giving them outlets and implementing the structure. So it's like, inside a school around the teacher, and then you get recess time, and then that gets there. It's just a plan. The dogs aren't going to figure it out just free living, and that's what it causes. Too much freedom too soon with a puppy. A dog that maybe was kind of figuring it out on its own, like a rescue case, and now they're like living with people and just don't know what to do. And it is just that hypervigilance. They're too ready to go. They're following everything the owner does. They're thinking of what's next. They're keeping track of everything. They're following the owner's feet to the bathroom and back, and you get up, they get up. A dog that's balanced and chilled doesn't just pop up and move every time you get up, and they're kind of just interested to be around you. They'll get up and change their position, but a lot of the times they're just laying around. Well, you tell me when you need me. Instead of what's next, there it is. And then they start feeling that they're keeping track of things, and they're anticipating, and their brain gets so ahead of themselves. That's what anxiety is. And dogs in their anxiety, it's a visceral. So I say it's always like this, like the neurodivergent mind just gets so intense. Your body's feeling the thinking, the sensory processing becomes askew. And then really all I do in training is create both an instinct to follow a leader by specific training implemented to create calm, sensory organized responses and consciousness on the part of the dog at these times of transition. And transition could be a time of day where the dog can't settle. Obviously bigger things like you moving around the house, new people coming in the house, feeding times, interactions with the other dogs, guests in the home, things you encounter on a walk or in public environments. That's all what triggers this. And what happens is we're just trying to talk to the dog and pulling back on the harnesses and all these things that are just, the dog's like, what the hell are you doing? You're trying to intervene and you're not being specific. A pack leader would know what they're doing. They would say, and that's what the commands are. Not little cute games. I want you to do this command exactly as I say, in the spot I say, with a start to finish, till I say we segue to another command, or we're released because the situation that you require commands in, if you're not reacting properly, is being implemented. And that's really what command should be, is this attention, this focus building, that when you tell them they're in this calm state and they feel that someone who intends them this way is what a pack leader. It's like you want them to do the command more than they want to react to things. And dogs are pretty intense about life. They feel very strong. That's why I always tell clients, you can't phone it in. You've got to be on it. You've got to practice your training throughout the day. They're not going to say, well, why do you make me listen when I'm overreacting to a guest in the home, but I follow you all over the house, and you baby me and let me on furniture, and you don't practice these commands? It's like going to go try to lift 100 pounds and you haven't even started lifting 10. And that's just the focus building. You could focus build a dog. That's why boarding and training usually doesn't work unless the owner follows through immediately, because the dog learns all the conditioned responses, but they only learn to condition it around the trainer in that environment where there's less at stake, instead of the owner where they feel this high level of vigilance and straight up feeling responsible for them, because the owners are accommodating their needs more than the dog's needs. I'm not talking about feeding them and walking them every day and the love. I'm talking about giving them structure, leadership, and clear, concise, black and white to do, so they can see clearly without anxiety and over and under reacting what's going on, even if it's them following into the bathroom, and everything up from there. So that's it. That's why a dog has behavior issues, impulse control issues, separation anxiety, reactivity, issues with other dogs, issues with other family members, overprotecting you, overprotecting the home, pulling on the leash, barking, jumping, all of it. It all comes from that. And if you implement the training as I'm describing here in a preventative way, pretty quickly it starts changing. And if you're consistent about it, it just becomes the norm. And if the dog sees that you're thinking this way, it becomes the norm inherently just by the energy you project and the awareness and your responses, because they know you're thinking like a pack leader, not like somebody who's just trying to fit this in to get back to what caused the problems in the first place.